Hello, everyone. I'm Max.
And I'm Marla. Welcome to episode 11 of our Pacific Adventure.
In this video, we're not only wrapping up Japan, but we're wrapping up our entire vlog of our Pacific Adventure. We've had just run out of time. We will not have time when we hit Alaska to create another video, but we've enjoyed doing these.
So starting in Japan, or midway in Japan, our next stop was Tokyo. We started out early, and by early, I mean, why are we awake right now early? And for us, that says a lot because we're always up early. We took the train into Tokyo and didn't make it back to the ship until late that night. Just one of those full, nonstop days where you try to see everything and end up remembering only about half of it because you were flying by things. But we had lunch at the Park Hyatt Tokyo. Yes, the hotel from Lost in Translation. So naturally, we wanted to sit at the bar, pretending we were in the movie, and fortunately, the bar was not open, so we focused on the food. After that, we headed to Yoyogi Park, 134 acres of green space, right in the middle of the chaos. It was one of those perfect days where you just want to keep walking and seeing what's around the next corner. But the two things we'll remember most, Shibuya Crossing and Japanese baseball. Shibuya Crossing was our first stop. We got there around 9:30, which apparently is not rush hour, but still felt like absolute chaos to us. Of course, we had to do the full crossing experience and then immediately decided we needed a better view. So for $15 each, we got seats overlooking the intersection for an hour. And yes, that included all you can eat and drink. And look, it was mid-morning, but we were not getting our money's worth. Also, the beer machine filled cups from the bottom, which honestly might have been more impressive than the crossing itself, and kept you going back for more just to see it work.
Yes. Well, when we booked this trip, I had one primary goal, and that was to see a baseball game in Japan, and I can say mission accomplished. Yep. The game itself is really the same as any MLB game. I mean, it doesn't change much, but what is different is the fans, and that's a completely different story from what we're used to. The fans were all in. They were loud, organized, nonstop cheering. It was more like a World Cup match than any baseball game I've ever been to. Mm-hmm. Each team had their fans, one section of the outfield dedicated to their fans, and whenever your team was up to bat, they were playing music and chanting and had songs for each player, and it was just truly nonstop. And when your half inning was over, the other team took over. And the other thing what was most memorable was the umbrellas. When the home team scored, suddenly everyone brought out their umbrellas and they were waving them around like they just won the World Series. It was impressive. And the other thing we really liked were the beer girls. And these ladies were amazing. They were running up and down these narrow, steep stairs the entire night. They have like a mini keg strapped to their back and had smiles on their faces, and they were just fun. And this baseball game was probably my best memory of this entire trip. It was a unique experience. Well, after Tokyo, we slowed things down in Miyako, and if the name sounds familiar, it was hit really hard in 2011 by a tsunami, and you can still, they still have some remnants of that there. But when we were there, it wasn't about the history. It was all about the people. Of our 9 stops in Japan, they were by far the most welcoming, friendliest town we had.
It was crazy. Everybody said hello.
Yes.
Just random people along the street. They were so excited we were there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, they met us at the port. They met us when we got off the bus into the town. And like Mara says, when we're walking down the street, it really was impressive.
Yeah.
But our big accomplishment for the day is I got a haircut. I desperately needed one and found this small barber shop, and it's a husband-wife team. And through translator apps and pointing to the sign, we finally communicated exactly what I wanted. And the husband cut my hair, but then he turned over to his wife, and that's where you got the whole treatment, because she gave me, not only shampooed my hair, but she did a scalp massage and a neck massage and a shoulder massage. And like I say, we haven't been able to communicate all day. Right. And when she's giving me the shoulder massage, I shouted out, "Marry me." And they both started laughing. It's like the only words of English they understood. But the whole experience, it was worth it.
Well, our next stop was Aomori, and stop number 8 in Japan. And finally, my dream came true. I got to see the cherry blossoms in full bloom. We hopped on a packed train, and I mean packed, and they kept adding more people. We couldn't figure out where they were going, but every stop we picked up more people. But the train was going to Hirosaki for the Cherry Blossom Festival. So apparently, it's about a 50-minute ride that felt like Tokyo all over again as far as the crowds, but it was worth it. The Cherry Festival has around 2,600 cherry trees in this park with over 50 varieties, and we hit it at peak bloom. It was, absolutely magical. The festival attracts roughly 2 million visitors annually, and I think most of them were there that day. And surprisingly, I would say 90% local.
Yeah.
And everywhere you look, though, the cherry blossoms and crowds. But even with the crowds, it was one of those moments where you just slow down, take it in, and try to appreciate where you are and what you're seeing. And somehow also try to get a photo without 500 strangers in it. After that, our next and final stop in Japan was Hakodate. We started at the Goryakuku Tower, which overlooks a massive star-shaped fort that was built in 1886. From above, you really get a great sense of the design. It was built to reduce blind spots and maximize defense. But from ground level, it's a lot of walking. And yes, more cherry blossoms, no complaints. They were just probably half bloomed. They weren't full bloomed, all of them. So it wasn't quite as magical as the day before, but it was still great. After that, we took the tram to Aomori, Red Brick House, for some last minute shopping, and then one final ramen lunch, which we had to have. Unfortunately, Max decided to get the very spicy option, which he immediately regretted, but powered through it anyway. We spent our last yen on that meal, so naturally we took an Uber back to the ship and officially said, "Sayonara, Japan."
Well, we've had an incredible time on this trip, and we've really enjoyed sharing it with everyone. And we want to thank all of you who followed along with our trip and watched our videos. We really do appreciate it. And we will be seeing you soon.
Sayonara.
Sayonara.